All right, we are back for some more foot stuff today. I spend a lot of time talking about feet and shoes and why it's so important to get out of traditional shoes and into functional footwear. And I know there's a missing piece there that I take for granted that I understand, and that people don't really understand, like what the deal is. And it's kind of just like, well, it can't be that big of a deal. Like, we all wear really bad shoes, so like, what's the problem? And the problem is that there's no education on what the purpose of the foot is, or like the mechanism involved in the foot. And it makes a huge difference. Once you get it, I think you will not take your foot for granted anymore. But okay, so the foot has a system, a mechanism called the Windlass mechanism. And basically what that is like a truss or a structure to hold something up. And then there's like a whole pulley system involved. And I'm gonna just try to kind of break it down in terms that everyone can understand and hopefully really appreciate the foot for being what's holding your entire body up. No big deal. So basically on the bottom of the foot, there's the plantar fascia, and the plantar fascia connects to your heel and it connects to the base of your big toes. And it does different things at different stages of gait. So let me just show you on my foot. Okay, so here is my foot. And you can see here's my calcaneus, which is the heel bone. And this is the base of my big toe. So your MTP joints run at the base of your big toes. And then there's another joint up here, your metatarsal joint. And so between those 3 points and then through the plantar fascia, that's what's creating the truss, that structure. And that's essentially what is holding up our foot. So these three points, and then at the bottom is the plantar fascia. There's a little visualization. So plantar fascia is like stretchy tissue. And so it's connected from here to here. And when our foot is standing, weight bearing, and you can see that my foot caves in, it pronates. And that's what's supposed to happen. Some people have more and some people have less. And then when I dorsiflex, when I pull my big toe up, you can see what happens here is that my arch is now created. So I've gone from here to here. And if you can picture it, this is what your foot looks like when it's stepping, when it's walking. You're pushing off your big toe. So now all of this is created because we've put it on a stretch. All your plantar fascia here is getting stretched out versus here when it's just standing there, it's soft. And so here's the other thing with it. When it's soft, all the joints are loose. They're able to move. So when you're taking a step and getting ready to step down and then you land, all those bones are actually unlocked through your midfoot because they're getting ready to accept weight and they don't know what they're gonna land on. And then when you think back to thousands of years ago, you really didn't know what you were gonna land on. We're not supposed to be walking on pavement and concrete all the time. We're supposed to be constantly adjusting to the ground and what is happening on the ground. Is there a rock? Is it hilly? Is it soft? So that's the purpose of that. And then once this big toe starts to dorsiflex, then it's pulling all that plantar fascia up, it's tensing it up, it's creating this structure nice and tight, and all those joints lock in together so that when you push off, it's creating a force to then spring you forward. So that's kind of the basis of the windlass mechanism and why it's awesome, because where else in the body does that happen? So, and now here's the big deal about what traditional footwear does to our feet. It's narrow and it's constricting, and I don't care if you get a wide shoe it's still narrow at that toe. Your toes are tapered together. If your toes are tapered together, your big toe cannot dorsiflex the way that it needs to. If your toe can't dorsiflex the way that it needs to, your windlass mechanism is not turning on. And you are relying on other things like your calves and your hip flexors to propel you forward. So it's amazing that we have this structure built into our foot, and the minute you put a shoe on, a bad shoe, a traditional shoe, that's not able to work anymore. It's free, we're given it, and it's there for a reason, and instead we're like, I gotta get these wicked cool shoes, and we turn it all off. And that results in a really tight midfoot, because your plantar fascia is not springing back and forth, it's just staying in that tight position. Your midfoot is now tight, so it's not pronating anymore, so you're gonna have a rigid arch. It's really hard to mobilize it. And then, of course, you're gonna have pain at some point along the line. It's amazing that I'll see someone after they have completely crazy bunions and they didn't even notice them. Or they have hammer toes and it's just like, well, my mom had them, so I have them too. And it's not natural, it's not normal. It's not the way that our foot is intended to be. And I just want to drive home the point that our foot is amazing, and it has everything that we need that the shoe industry tries to tell you we need. A shoe is never gonna do anything for you except hurt you. And I'm not talking about heels. I'm talking about every single shoe out there, down to like this shoe that seems, sure, it's flexible. Yes, I will give it that. And sure, it's flat, but then my toes are coming to a point in there. Our bodies are just not built for modern day society of sitting, having tightness in our hips, having back pain, and then on top of it, we treat our feet like crap. So that's the windlass mechanism. Hopefully I summed it up in terms that make sense and that you can start appreciating your foot a little bit more. And if you like these videos, you like information on feet and, you know, just how to be a human again, then please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.